What is up, everybody? How is it going? Austin Prechtelevate Performance, coming at you live. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Man, my days of the week have been off lately. Happy Thursday. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Today, as you're all tuning in, let me know how your day is going. Say hi in the comments. Drop a like. Say hello. Feel free to helps with the algorithm, helps other people see it. But today we're going to be talking about a very, I guess, topical topic, if that's a thing. Very, I guess, relevant. That's the word I was looking for. Relevant topic today. We're going to be talking about, how much weight can you lose before summer gets here? And I'm talking about official summer, right? I'm talking about June, right? And so, in theory, so right now, 12 weeks away is when summer officially starts. A little bit less than 12 weeks. Okay. And so I want to talk about this because a lot of times people, after spring breaks happen, or maybe your New Year's didn't go so well, spring break rolls around, you didn't make as much progress as you'd hope to have, or maybe you fell off, and then spring break, or you went and traveled or something at some point between, the New Year and now, and you're like, damn, like I'm not happy with how things are going right now. I want to get in shape for summer, right? Or I want to get, make progress towards my goals for summer. And a lot of times people, that's when they start. They get this like feeling like, I didn't like how that felt. I want to get started. What's up, Brianna? Happy Thursday indeed. And so I'm going to talk about how much weight you can expect to lose realistically, right? Because we like to be realistic around here. And by summer, right? Officially in summer, in 12 weeks. And so I'm going to lay it out. I'm going to break it down why and how this works, and why this is the mindset that you need to be in coming into summer if you want to see sustainable progress that you get to keep, right? Because this is how much weight you should be able to lose, right? And everybody's journey is their own, right? And I would really like to emphasize that, it's really important to, focus on non-scale victories, right? The scale is not the end all be all, like by any means. It is one measurement of like what progress would be considered. And so, if you're feeling stronger, you're looking leaner, your body's recomping, you're happier, healthier, more confident, your clothes are fitting better. Those things are way more fucking important than a number on scale, right? But everybody likes to see the scale go down if your goal is weight loss, right? Everybody likes to see it. That's not a surprise. And so I want to let you guys know what you can realistically expect in terms of weight loss, because there's a big difference of how much weight you should lose, right, versus how much you could lose. Because oftentimes people are like, yeah, I know my aunt twice removed, blah, 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 blah. I took this shake and she lost 40 pounds in 3 months. And well, that's good for your aunt, but I bet that she's probably not been able to maintain that. She probably gained it all back and is probably feeling, pretty shitty because she probably messed her body up doing that. And so there's a difference between should versus could, right? Like how much should you lose? Because at the end of the day, some people don't like to hear, but slow and steady will win the race. The long game will win out in this. And so it doesn't matter if you can lose 20 pounds in a month. What matters is if you can lose 20 pounds over the course of a period of time and keep that 20 pounds off. Because it doesn't matter if you lose it in a month and you regain it that next month, right? And so you got to be careful about this stuff and view your own journey in this way. Yeah, you can get there faster taking shortcuts, but you're going to shortcut yourself in the long run. And I really like to emphasize that. And so we've got 12 weeks left till summer. So how much weight can you lose sustainably, and then maintain that progress, effectively and healthily, and turn this more into a lifestyle rather than just like how fast can I get there, just because I really really care about the number on the scale, right? And so we're going to talk about that. So you can realistically, we've got 12 weeks, right? 12 weeks. Sustainable weight loss is anywhere from half a pound to 2 pounds lost per week for most people. If you're just starting your journey, you're likely going to lose more at the beginning, because you're going to deplete your glycogen stores. Your water weight's going to get all like funky, which is fine. Like that's good. It's not fat loss, but it is weight loss. And so, that will happen. So you'll probably lose a little bit more at the beginning if you're just starting out. But half a pound to 2 pounds lost per week is what's considered sustainable, what is considered maintainable, where you're not running the risk of losing a lot of muscle unnecessarily, because you do lose, you'll lose fat when you're in a calorie deficit on a diet, right? But you also lose muscle. But if you're, losing way more than that and your calories are dropped like crazy, you're going to run the risk of like causing metabolic adaptation to happen a lot quicker than it otherwise would have. And you're going to lose a lot of muscle in the way. And so we don't want to do that. We want to set ourselves up for long-term success. And so half a pound to 2 pounds lost per week is, good general rule of thumb. if you were hitting everything perfectly, if you were doing every damn thing right, if you were following your calories and your macros religiously, you were like not fucking up, you're not taking cheat meals, you're not fucking around on the weekends, like all that kind of shit, you're doing your workouts, you're getting your 7 to 10K steps in a day, your net activity is good, right? All of these things have to be in alignment. You're getting your fucking protein in. Like all these things need to be in alignment if you want to see results like that, right? Half a pound to 2 pounds lost per week. That is what you would get if you were able to maintain that. And so let's do some math. I hate math, and so I'm bad at math. And so I did this beforehand, and so you could lose anywhere with that half a pound to 2 pounds lost per week in mind for the next 12 weeks, anywhere from 6 pounds to 24 pounds. Right? You lose anywhere from 6 to 24 pounds between now and when summer officially starts, and that would be considered maintainable long term. Right? You'd be able to keep that off because you're not going to be putting your body through a ton of diet fatigue. You're not going to be putting your body through a ton of, like going like crash diet burnout route, right? You're not going to like spread yourself so thin and beat your metabolism and your body into a pulp to where you quit and fall off the wagon and then rebound and then gain it all back, right? That's why yo-yo diet. That's what happens with yo-yo dieting. That's why it's because it's not sustainable in the first place. So if you're going at it from a sustainable method, where I'd recommend flexible dieting and strength training, right? And anywhere from 3 to 5, if you're crazy like me, 6 days a week. Doing that and being in a calorie deficit of anywhere from 250 to 500 calorie deficit daily, right? Probably want to, be more on the, lighter side of that calorie deficit. So that way you, again, don't, change too many things too quickly. But that's, what it comes down to. So you could lose 6 to 24 pounds between now and when summer officially starts. 24 pounds, some people, and it depends on you, right? It depends on the person. Some people respond very, very well and will lose weight a lot quicker than other people. That's just part of it. Some people have a much higher net activity on a daily basis because of their job versus someone who's a desk worker versus, a lot of times, some people might have a metabolic deficiency in terms of like your thyroid or insulin sensitivity or things like that may be going on. If that's the case, then, you're probably going to be more along the lines of that half pound, right? Half pound to 1 pound loss per week if you're doing everything perfectly, right? Perfectly. If you're fucking things up and you're screwing around and you're falling off your diet, you're overeating, you're not doing, your net activity for the day, getting your steps in and shit like that, you're not going to see that progress. You just won't because you're fucking around and you're not following your plan effectively. And so you got to keep that in mind too. Like if you're not seeing that half a pound to 2 pounds lost per week progress, you're probably fucking up in one of those areas. Or is your sleep shitty? Like there's a lot of other things like that going on too. And along this journey between now and summer, you're going to be faced with fluctuations in your weight. I want to prepare you for that. You're going to be faced with the fluctuations in your weight. It's going to be water weight. It's going to be from food. It's going to be from salt. It's going to be from, not going to the bathroom. It's going to be from your menstrual cycle. Like, don't let it fuck you up. Don't let it get in your head, right? It's easier said than done, but don't let it throw you off the course. If you are following a plan, right, and that plan's working, and then all of a sudden it stops working, give it some time. Give it a week. Give it 2 weeks, whatever it may be, to make sure that you don't need to update things and that it's not just a fluctuation, because day-to-day fluctuations happen, right? Week-to-week fluctuations happen. Like if you suddenly gain a ton of weight, like if your weight changes like 3, or sometimes like my weight will change anywhere from like 3, 5, sometimes even 8 pounds on a day, based on what I'm eating and things like that, and how hydrated I am. Like it is, if you think about it, like almost mathematically impossible for somebody to gain that much fat overnight, right? That's like that's like binge eating 10,000 calories every day. That's like going like real crazy and like I don't even know, like that's like 30 or 50,000 calories, like something crazy like that. Like if you think about it that way, just take a step back and be real with yourself and be like, hey, like this, the math doesn't add up. Let me like separate my like mental and emotional like tiedness to the scale and think about this a little bit like more logically and get away from the emotion of it all, because we all been there. Like you step on the scale and like it doesn't say what you want to say. You've been doing everything right and you're like, well, fuck, this sucks. Why am I even doing this? But you gotta remind yourself that there are fluctuations and that they are normal. Okay. And then and at the end of the day, right? So just set yourself up mindset wise for realistic progress, what you could expect, which I just laid out. Set yourself up to be prepared for when the scale tries to fuck with your head, right? and set yourself up for success when it comes to doing the things that you need to do to reach your goals. Now you have kind of like a framework, you have an outline of what you need to do. Now you just got to do it and stick to your plan. If you have a good plan, keep to it, you know? And at the end of the day, I know people are like, oh, I want to lose more than that. Well, go for it, right? I can't guarantee you're going to keep it off or be happy or, enjoy yourself during the process. There's a reason I said this on my other live the other day, like, it's like 50 to 90% of people regain all the weight that they lost within 1 to 5 years after they did it. So, and the reason for that is the majority of those people who did it that way did it unsustainably, and so they can't keep the unsustainable method going, and then you gain it all back. And so let's avoid that. Let's keep this awesome progress that we get for summer and keep that rolling, into fall, for life, right? And so, at the end of the day, you can lose more, like superficially, because a lot of it's going to be water weight and glycogen. If you do some of these other crash diet burnout routes, yeah, you can lose some more, but a lot of it's going to be water. It's not going to be fat. You're going to lose a lot of muscle in the process, and you're going to waste a lot of your time and energy doing something that's not going to benefit you in the long term. So, and you're probably going to rebound. So don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. And I hope that you guys got value from this. But that's how much weight you could lose between now and when summer officially starts. 6 to 24 pounds. Just depends on how diligent you are, how on track you can stay, and how bad you want this, right? And so, just got to remind yourself of that. But hope that was valuable. Hope that helps you set some goals for yourself in terms. But most people will probably fall, like, it's like with anything, there's a bell curve to just about everything, like, right? So, on average, your average person's probably going to lose between 8 and 15 pounds between now and summer, probably, because you got people who, when it comes down to it, either will hyper respond to their plan, and that's great for them, or not hyper respond, or and it may not be and that's assuming you follow everything perfectly, because there are people who will hyper respond because they do everything perfectly, and then there's people who won't because they fall off all the time and get in their own way. So yeah, hope that's helpful. Hey, what's up, Kira? How's it going? Let's go. Flex emoji. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for you today. That's how much weight you can lose between now and summer. Hope that was helpful. Hope that set some realistic expectations for you if you are, thinking about starting a weight loss journey or a fat loss journey, or just want to be fit and healthier. But at the end of the day, remind yourself, right? It's not all about the scale, right? Do the things that are going to, benefit you and that are going to get you to your goals. And just enjoy the process, right? Enjoy the process. Focus on non-scale victories, feeling stronger, healthier, more confident, liking the way you look better, clothes fitting better, more energy. Those things are, vastly more important than a number on the scale. So cool. Hope you guys got value from this. And other than that, I'm going to hop off here. I'll be on TikTok for probably the next 5 minutes, answer some questions for a Q&A. But yeah, other than that, feel free to give this video a like. Everybody, I'll talk to you later. #replay for watch this later time. And yeah, have a good rest of your Thursday. Bye.